Hello everyone, today we have come to Tupholme Abbey. Tupholme Abbey was a Premonstratensian abbey close to the River Witham, some 10 plus half a mile, 16.9 kilometers east of the city of Lincoln, England. The Witham Valley in Lincolnshire is notable for its high concentration of monasteries. There were 6 on the east bank and 3 on the west, all presumably drawn to the area by the usefulness of the River Witham for transport and by the wealth in wool that it transported. The abbey was largely destroyed by 1538, after being seized during Henry VIII's dissolution of the monasteries. The abbey ruin, located off the B1190 between Bardney and Horncastle, is a Grade 1 listed building. It is maintained by Heritage Lincolnshire. The name Tupholme reflects the influence of Scandinavian cultures on Lincolnshire during the Danelaw during the 9th–11th centuries, and it means basically an island where rams were raised. Tup is a word for male sheep first used in the north of Britain during the Middle Ages, with origins generally given as unknown, though it is conceivably related to the Swedish word tupp, meaning a male chicken, cock. As for the home in Tupholme, it comes from an Old Norse word, homa, meaning an island and indicating that the abbey once stood on an island in a marsh, the surrounding lands having been wet before the fens were drained for farming. An order whose medieval traces are not much alluded to in modern England is the Order of Canons Regular of Premontre, also known as the Premonstratensians, the Norbertines, and formerly, in Great Britain and Ireland, as the White Canons, from the colour of their habit. This is an international religious order founded in 1120 in Premontre near Laon, France, by Saint Norbert of Xanten, who later became Archbishop of Magdeburg. Norbert was a friend of Saint Bernard of Clairvaux, the great Cistercian abbot, and like Bernard, aimed at intensification of the Christian life. However, the Premonstratensians are not monks, but canons regular. Like monks, the canons regular live in community and celebrate together the various religious services. Unlike monks, however, the work of canons regular places fundamental emphasis on preaching and the exercise of pastoral ministry. There have been, and are several orders of canons regular, of which the Premonstratensians are one. The latter were ruled by an abbot general who, before the French Revolution, was the abbot of their French mother house of Premontre, but is now resident in Rome. The larger houses of canons regular are sometimes ruled by an abbot and the smaller ones by a prior. All the orders of canons regular have as their fundamental guidelines the ancient rule of St. Augustine, but with supplementary statutes that apply this to times and circumstances. The Premonstratensian order received approbation by Pope Honorius II, in 1126. At that time they had, in all, 9 houses, but by the mid-14th century throughout Western Europe there was some 1,300 monasteries for men and 400 for women. The order came to England about 1143, first founding a house in Lincoln known as Newsham, or Newhouse Abbey. By the early 16th century they came to have 35 houses throughout the country, with other houses in Scotland and Ireland. All, like Tupholme Abbey, were wiped out during the Protestant Reformation. In the Middle Ages, Lincolnshire was one of the most densely populated parts of England. Within the historical county there were no less than 9 Premonstratensian houses. Other than Tupholme Abbey, these were Barlings Abbey, Cameringham Priory, Hagnaby Abbey, Newbow Abbey, Newsham Abbey, Orford Priory, Women, Stixwold Priory and West Ravendale Priory. The original endowment of Tupholme Abbey embraced the domain at Tupholme and other smaller parcels of land, along with the churches of Burroughs, Middle Raisin, Market Stainton, Ranby, and Sturton. Long after the founding endowments, we know that in 1329 Henry, Earl of Lancaster, c. 1281-1345, a grandson of King Henry III, 1216-1272, granted the Lincolnshire manor of Burroughs, and in 1342 Ralph de Neville donated that of Ranby. However, Tupholme was never a prosperous house. In 1347, when the abbey was heavily in debt, an enterprising abbot was accused of forgery and counterfeiting of coin of the realm, allegedly using the proceeds to buy corn and wine, which he sold for a profit. Was this an attempt to finance the abbey? Records of visitations in the later years of the abbey also show some misdemeanors. In 1497, Thomas Pindewell was banished to Croxton Abbey in Leicestershire as he was said to have become involved with a local woman called Philippa and fathered her child. In 1482, the behavior of the canons had evidently been unruly, as they were forbidden to leave the precincts of the abbey without permission, or to sit up drinking after compline, the last service of the day. The penalty for such misdeeds was to be 3 days on a bread and water diet. 4. Nevertheless, these negative episodes are perhaps little against a silent record of almost 400 years of an institution dedicated in large part to prayer, pastoral ministry among the local people and care of the poor. Tupholme was a small house and as such was suppressed in the first wave of the dissolution of the monasteries, in 1536. The last abbot, John Ancaster, was given a pension of £18 and 8 other canons received £1 each, which was regarded as a usual amount. The site of the abbey, together with the church, bell tower and churchyard, did not go to the poor and needy, but was granted to Sir Thomas Heneage of Hynton. The Heneages were a family already making its way. This Sir Thomas may have been the man who, with his brother, Sir Robert Heneage, was a member of Henry VIII's Privy Chamber. In 1546, Thomas was also Henry's groom of the stool, no less. His siblings included George Heneage, 1484-1549, a former chaplain to Thomas Wolsey and at various times Archdeacon of Oxford, Archdeacon of Taunton, Archdeacon of Lincoln and Dean of Lincoln. Their brother was John Heneage, 1484-1557, a Member of Parliament, and their nephew was Sir George Heneage, 1520-1595, also a Member of Parliament. It seems likely that the church was demolished at an early stage of remodeling the site, churches being generally seen as a profitable source of lead and building materials. Moreover, having the church out of the way may have salved qualms of conscience about depredation of a sacred site. Heneage built a grand house, based on the monastic buildings, for his daughter Elizabeth and her husband William Willoughby, 1st Baron Willoughby of Parham, who may have been the man of the same name who in 1536 was in service with King Henry VIII's illegitimate son, Henry Fitzroy, and the nephew of the man, Gilbert Taleboys, 1st Baron Taleboys of Kyme, who in 1520 married Henry Fitzroy's mother, Elizabeth Blount. The house Heneage built was in the fashionable Tudor style and surrounded by a large Tudor formal garden, of which traces remain on the site. This mansion passed through the Willoughby family until it was sold in 1661 by the then Lord Willoughby, one-time governor of Barbados, after whom a colony that is now part of Suriname. Upon sale, the house and grounds became the property of the Viner family, whose head at the time, Sir Thomas Viner, a gold dealer and former sheriff and Lord Mayor of London, was that same year created a baronet by Charles II. Ruins of the Abbey. By 1700 the style of the Tudor mansion was deemed unfashionable and the Viners proceeded to demolish it, building in the classical style a new house called Tupholme Hall, demolished 1976, located some 750 meters northeast of the Abbey site. They cleared away the old house, but retained the one surviving wall of the medieval abbey as an eye-catching feature, a fashionable ornament in their surrounding landscaped parkland. 4. Despite these developments, in the 1730s the Viners moved to yet another house in the possession of their family, Gortby Hall, and let Tupholme to tenants. In the 18th century, a farmyard developed around the site of the remaining wall. By the start of the 20th century this had become a busy farmstead. But by the middle of that century it had declined and the site was used only for laborers' housing, by the 1970s becoming empty and derelict, and despite attempts to save it, was demolished in 1984. Here is the drone footage, hope you enjoy. you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. See you all soon.